Good morning everyone, I'm Richard Parr and you are watching Sportuccino. We are live on Tuesday the 21st of February 2017. We're live on sportuccino.com, also on Facebook, YouTube and on Periscope. Welcome to you if you are joining us. We're talking all things sports. We'd love to get you involved in the conversation today. Thank you for joining us. Plus, we are also a podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. So welcome to you if you're listening back on your phone, on the bus, in the gym, or wherever you are in the world. It's great to be talking to you this morning, all things related to sport. Plus, I've also got a great guest coming up on the show. We're talking all things related to the fight against the diet industry and its faddy trends. We're speaking to Karen Oliver. She's coming up on the show. But let's begin the day with our morning sports headlines. Arsenal beat non-league Sutton 2-0 to reach the quarter-finals of the English FA Cup. 7 sports lose their appeals against funding cuts. Mako Vunipola is back in the England training squad ahead of Sunday's Six Nations game against Italy. And DeMarcus Cousins has been traded from the Sacramento Kings to the New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, those are the big stories today. But before we talk more detail about them, I want to tell you about the people which designed our fantastic Sportuccino logo right here. See, I know where it is today. And the people who designed it were 99 Designs. And what they do is they offer contests to talented freelancers all across the world. So you give them a little idea of what you want, and then these talented freelancers, they give you their ideas, and then you can work with them to make iterations and to make changes, and then you whittle it down to 2 or 3 designers that you really like. Then you pick the one which you think is the best, and then you get to work with them further. So I was really pleased with how our Sportuccino logo came across, and I hope you like it too. And if you need anything designed, such as a business card or a website or a logo or anything like that, check out 99 Designs. I'm going to put a link to it on our Facebook page and on sportuccino.com. It's also under the resources page on sportuccino.com, and you can get a link to 99 Designs. And of course, if you click that link, you will be supporting Sportuccino, and I'd really appreciate it if you would do that. So Sutton's run is over. The non-league side losing to Arsenal at Gander Green Lane on Monday. They put up a pretty good fight. They lost 2-0. Theo Walcott with their second goal for Arsenal. Lucas Perez with the first, albeit Walcott did try and get a little flick to it. He would have had 2 goals had he got a touch to that. But I think the Sutton team really did themselves proud. What did you make of their performance? Of course, up next for Arsenal is Lincoln City. It looks like it's a pretty easy path for them into the semi-finals. What did you make of their performance? We'd love to get your thoughts on that on the Facebook page and on the Twitter page at Sportuccino. Arsenal, of course, through to the quarterfinals now. Now, in the NBA, there's that huge trade. DeMarcus Cousins moving from the Sacramento Kings to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, you may have seen that Cousins was playing alongside Anthony Davis with the Pelicans. Of course, Davis got that record-breaking total in the All-Star game on Sunday, 52 points, breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record of 55 years for the highest score in the All-Star game. Incredible performance from the 23-year-old. Now he's going to link up with DeMarcus Cousins. Let's have a little look at what else is involved in this trade. Omri Caspi is also moving to New Orleans as part of that trade, while instead the Kings are getting the 2016 first-round draft pick Buddy Hield. They're also getting Langston Galloway, and they're getting first and second round draft picks in this year's draft later this summer in the United States. So that brings me on to our poll on the Twitter page today. We want to know who you think got the better deal. Was it the Kings or was it the Pelicans? Who got the better deal in the DeMarcus Cousins trade? Hashtag Kings, hashtag Pelicans, hashtag NBA. Was it the Sacramento Kings or was it the New Orleans Pelicans? Give us your thoughts on that on the Twitter page. Also get involved on Facebook and YouTube. We would love to hear from you. So that is a big monster trade when it comes to money. So much money being spread around there. But it looks like that's not the same case for 7 sports in the UK. As we mentioned in the headlines, 7 sports have lost their appeal to UK sport to get funding. The 7 sports are badminton, archery, goalball, fencing, table tennis, weightlifting, and wheelchair rugby. They'll receive no funding, which is amazing because in the last 4-year cycle for the Rio Olympics, badminton, for example, got £5.7 million of funding. So to go from 5.7 million to nothing must be pretty painful. Are you involved in any of those sports? Are those sports that you care about? What do you think about that? Do you think that money should be spent on table tennis and fencing, for example, or do you think that it should be spent elsewhere? Would love to get your thoughts on all of that on the Facebook page. Get involved on Facebook. Get involved on Periscope. We would love to hear from you. Now, I'm going to introduce you to my guest today. I'm delighted to say that Karen Oliver from Beyond the Bathroom Scales blog, it's a fantastic blog, is joining me now live on the programme. Good morning to you, Karen.
Good morning, Richard.
So great for you to be up this morning, albeit I hear you are up a bit early anyway today.
4 a.m. with the teething toddler.
Oh no.
Yeah, rough start.
Well, you're looking great, and it's great to have you on the show this morning. So let's begin. Tell us a little bit about Beyond the Bathroom Scale, please.
So Beyond the Bathroom Scale, while I tell people it's a health and fitness blog, I think that then shoves it in the category of people expecting it to just be smoothie bowls and kale and yoga poses and things. And that isn't really what the blog's about. What the blog really is a kind of backlash against the diet industry. A big passion of mine is debunking the kind of myths around dieting, diet industries, the books, the diet plans, everything you've got to just in the last 20 years, we've seen fat vilified. Everyone's cutting carbs, sugar, now it's gluten, dairy-free, free of everything. And many people are going down this route of, to lose weight, to be slim, because that's the end goal with all these blogs. It's all about being slim and losing weight. Everyone's focusing on, if I cut all these things out, I'll be slim. And they're not worrying about whether they actually have any intolerances or actually have any allergies. They haven't often gone to professionals or experts. They've just picked up a book in the supermarket, thought, the woman on the cover's thin and gorgeous, I'll copy her diet. That'll be good enough. I'll lose weight to be like that. So what Beyond the Bathroom Scale does is I have a team of experts. I work with a weight loss surgeon. I have a nutritionist and a personal trainer that often write for the blog. And they debunk the myths. They back up the science. And my side of it is I write some recipes. I do product reviews. And I also have my own ramble of my own battle with, I came beaten pre-diabetes, hypertension, and also lost a load of weight as a side effect of that, without having to diet or anything like that. It was just exercise and eating normal food. I didn't cut anything out, really, just moderation. So it sounds boring, but it's straightforward advice.
Yeah, I was going to say that to you, Karen. Like, let's say one person is overweight and it's just due to bad habits, bad routine, bad eating, not enough exercise. You know, obviously they do want to do something to get better. Let's say they decide one moment that from now on I need to get better, I need to get healthier. Then what should they be doing? What should be the next step for them?
Well, my first step, because I actually had that sort of epiphany one day. I just woke up and thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I've got to change. I've got to do something. I came back from the doctor's office and he said pre-diabetic, and I thought, pre-diabetic? I was 19. I thought, I'm not having a lifetime of type 2 diabetes. I'd watched my father suffer from it. And so the first things I did that day, I went out for a walk. Such a simple thing, but no one I think we get so caught up with overcomplicating exercise, and it's all must have this equipment, must do this workout, this celebrity is doing that DVD, I must go and copy that. And I didn't bother with any of that. The first thing I did was I started walking every day. Just a quick walk around the block, a quick 1 mile walk. I picked up an apple for a snack instead of my usual chocolate bar or fizzy drink or whatever it was. And that was it. It started from there. And then the next big thing was teach myself to cook, because so many of my generation, we don't know how to cook. We're very ready meals, straight in the oven, straight in the microwave. or eating on the go, eating at the desk. I used to do a lot of that in my last job. So I stopped eating at my desk. I made time to eat proper meals, usually cook them from scratch. But it's, again, I know a lot of people that cook big meals on Sundays and batch them, put them in the freezer so they've got something to heat up in the week. And that's perfectly fine. At least it's home cooked food. And just simple exercise, something that ties into your day.
Now, you mentioned that your blog has really good experts, but a lot of the things you're saying there, were they things that you motivated by yourself? Were they things that you learnt by yourself? Or did you turn to experts yourself?
I read a lot of books. I'm quite a bookish person, so I read an awful lot of books, really basic books. Actually, have you ever read the For Dummies range?
No, I haven't.
I used to teach myself coding and things like that through the For Dummies range. So there's like Windows 10 for Dummies and Raspberry Pi for Dummies and lots of different things. And they actually have a fitness book and a weight loss book and nutrition. So all three of them were really good books. And I started just reading things like that. And in them books, they have a bibliography at the back with further references. So the references were all like medical journals and other books, more accessible books than medical journals and that sort of thing. And it was just such basic information. I think we all know it really, but really as a society, we're looking for that quick fix. So we know we need to drink water. We know we need to exercise. We know we need to go to bed at a proper time. But I think many of us are looking for something a bit more exciting, a bit sexier image kind of thing of health, and unfortunately it doesn't exist. It's just the boring stuff that really gets the results.
Is there then a difficulty of not keeping up with these things when you and I know the one thing which you do is you have a 12-week planner. Tell us a little bit about that and what that does.
So the 12-week planner, my idea with that is when I started out, I was using my Fitness Pal. It's a smartphone app. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a really good app. You can track every food that you eat. You can put recipes. You can barcode scan, that sort of thing. It's really convenient. Worked so well for the first year. But the problem I was finding is, like everything else, it became a habit. And I was logging things, but not really looking at what I was eating. So I was just logging it, pressing complete diary at the end of the day and not really thinking any more about it. And then as I got really hectic in my career, I used to be a social worker. So I didn't find I had much time to dedicate to exercise. I couldn't spend 3 hours in the gym or anything like that, just out of this world to think of that. So what I was doing, I was slipping into habits and not really noticing that I was slowly sliding back to where I used to be. So I created the planner so that I could sit down at the end of each day and really focus on what I had eaten, what I really had done in terms of exercise, had I even left my desk that day. And by writing it down, I found I was a lot more mindful with it. So I wasn't just automatically tracking. It wasn't just relying on Fitbits and things to track it for me. I had to consciously think, right, did I eat what I was really meant to be eating? Did I just comfort eat? What could I have done better that day? What sabotaged myself? And by doing that and asking myself these questions, I'm a lot more mindful of what I'm doing. So I find the planner keeps me on track that way. And so because it was helpful to me, I published it, and hopefully it's helpful to other people, which I'm getting good feedback so far. So I recommend it.
And crucially, that's very often the most important thing. It's not just helping yourself, it's helping others as well. All right, let's learn a little bit more about you, Karen, as well. Let's play 5 favourite things. I know you've already mentioned a book already. I don't know if that'll come in there. Basically, I'll throw 5 different things at you. You've got to give me the first answer which comes into your head, and then at the end, I will discuss one of those points in a little bit more detail. Are you ready, Karen?
Sounds fun. I am. I'm ready for this.
Wonderful. All right. Favourite book?
The minute I'm reading Ariana Huffington's Thrive.
Ah, okay. Favourite song?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Five Finger Death Punch, anything by them.
Okay, I've not
really love them.
I've not heard of them, but
they're a metal band. I really like them. They get me going in the morning.
Yeah, you need that motivation to start the day.
Yeah.
Favourite city?
Oh, it's not really a city. It's Calambos in Menorca.
Ah.
It's like a little sort of village tourist place. It's beautiful, really beautiful place.
Favourite film?
Back to the Future trilogy. All 3 of them. Can't pick. Love them. Have to watch them all in a row.
And favourite food?
Ooh, Calzone from Frankie and Benny's.
Oh, okay. Very nice, very nice. So I want to ask you a bit more about your favourite book. What's so good about this book right now?
So it's a book I could have really done with reading this a few years ago. Ariana Huffington, she's the founder of Huffington Post, and she talks about how one day she just collapsed at a desk at work and just thought, this is ridiculous. I'm working myself to the grave. I need to turn around. I need to actually fit my business around my life rather than try and fit my life into it. And that really speaks to me because when I was a social worker, it was all career, career, career. And I didn't put myself first. My health was sliding back. So this book kind of reminds me that even though I'm working for myself now, I still need to be designing a business that fits around my life rather than try and squeeze my health and things into it.
Well, by running Sportuccino, I think I need to read that book as well. So I'm going to go and check it out. Ariana Huffington's book. Well, I'll check that. All right. It's been so good to talk to you this morning, Karen. Just before you go,
it's been great to talk to you.
Why don't you give us a reminder of your social media channels and anything else you'd like to promote, please?
Okay, so the blog is at www.beyondthebathroomscale.co.uk. You can find me on Twitter, that's at BTBSblog. On Instagram, I'm Karen_@_BTBSblog. And you can also get a free copy of my health assessment workbook just by signing up to the newsletter on the blog. There'll be a big banner on there to click on.
Wonderful. And you've got a big blog coming up in a couple of weeks. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm launching into a bit of a soapbox speech on my blog. In a couple of weeks, there'll be a massive essay on all the things I hate about the diet and fitness industry. It's a bit of a rant, but I get very passionate about it. I'm trying to be academic and put in the research, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure it'll be great. We'll check it out. Karen Oliver from Beyond the Bathroom Scale, thank you so much for being on Sportuccino this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Great to talk to Karen this morning on Sportuccino. Now, every single weekday morning, we have a brand new guest talking anything related to sports, health, fitness, all those type of topics. And yesterday in particular, we were talking about the Spanish Football League. Yes, we're moving on to football now. And I spoke to the football writer Simon Harrison. And in particular, we spoke about the return of Gareth Bale, formerly the world's most expensive player until Paul Pogba came along. The Real Madrid winger, the Real Madrid forward, the Welsh wonder kid. And we spoke about his impact when he came off the bench to score for Real Madrid in their 2-0 win over Espanyol. Have a look at this.
Previously on Sportuccino.
For him to come into the game and to make an immediate impact, score a goal that you would say sort of a trademark Bale goal, showing a bit of pace and power to get into the box and then finishing across the goalkeeper from the left-hand side. It's good signs for Zidane because recently Ronaldo's been turning a bit more provider. Benzema, he's been quite hit and miss. Morata has taken the chances when he's been given them, but there isn't that sort of imperious sense that you get with Barcelona.
Yeah, you can go back and see that full interview with Simon Harrison at sportuccino.com. Would be really good if you went and watched that. So we were speaking about Real Madrid there, but actually it's Atletico Madrid in Champions League action tonight. Let's have a little chat about what's going on in the Champions League on Tuesday. Atletico Madrid are away to Bayer Leverkusen. There's no Hakan Calhanoglu. I think that's how you say it. I'm not very good at that pronunciation because he's suspended for 4 months. The Court of Arbitration for Sport had to get involved after he didn't go and have a full transfer to Trabzonspor a few years ago. He's now been banned for 4 months, can't play for Bayer Leverkusen, so that rules him out of the Champions League against an Atletico Madrid side, which are unbeaten in 7 away matches as they head to Germany for this first leg in the last 16 of the Champions League. Jan Oblak is pushing for a return. Could he be back in place of Carlos Moya in goal for Atletico Madrid for Diego Simeone's side? Also, could Kevin Gamero return up front? He's got a hat-trick off the bench in 5 minutes at the weekend. Could he replace Fernando Torres up front and partner Antoine Griezmann? That is live tonight, 7:45 GMT or 19:45 GMT if we're going the 24-hour clock. Also tonight, it's Manchester City versus Monaco. You know, you've got to worry about Monaco. Look what they did to Tottenham. They are top of Ligue 1 with a 3-point lead at the top of the table. Manchester City, of course, don't have Gabriel Jesus, and Sergio Aguero will be up front instead. But he hasn't scored in his last 6 appearances, albeit a few of them were off the bench because he couldn't get in the team due to the performance of Gabriel Jesus. City, of course, drew 0-0 with Huddersfield in the FA Cup on Saturday. No Vincent Kompany as well, albeit he's barely played for Manchester City this season. Although I was very interested to see in some of the papers that Nicolas Otamendi has been linked with moves to Barcelona or Real Madrid. I am not a fan. I don't think he's good enough for either of those teams. What do you think, City fans? Is he good enough to move to Barcelona or Real Madrid? Would you like to see him go? Love to get your thoughts on that. Nicolas Otamendi off to one of the big 2 clubs in Spain. I'm not so sure about that. Manchester City, they are unbeaten in their last 6 matches at home. And as I mentioned, Monaco, well, I haven't mentioned this, but Monaco are unbeaten in 7 away games. So it's a good team at home versus a good team away. Should be a fascinating time in the UEFA Champions League. It's Manchester City versus Monaco. It's Bayer Leverkusen versus Atletico Madrid. Let me get your thoughts. Let me get your predictions. Who's going to win? Who's going to take the advantage in these first legs? And of course, we will react to all of that on Wednesday's Sportuccino, and we'll also look ahead to Wednesday's games, which include Leicester versus Sevilla. All right, now every single day I like to set myself a goal because that is what some of the top sports athletes in the world do. And my goals aren't necessarily related to sport. They could be related to what I need to achieve working for Sportuccino or what I want to achieve in my personal life, or they can be sporting goals as well. And I like to put them on our Snapchat page. If you're not following us on Snapchat, add us. Come on, it's easy. It's Sportuccino, or find the Snapchat code. It's actually going to be on the screen in a minute. You can snap the screen, albeit if you're watching on the phone, you can't do it on your phone. But if you're watching on your iPad, grab your phone, Snapchat the screen. Nonsense, I'm talking nonsense. But anyway, I don't talk nonsense on the Snapchat page because we talk about the goal of the day. Let's have a look at today's goal.
Good morning, just in Brighton Station on my way to Sportuccino HQ, and it's time for the goal of the day. Well, today I'm continuing to do my search for a brand new studio for Sportuccino. So today's goal is to check out a new studio as we're looking to move Sportuccino HQ. That is my goal of the day. What's yours?
So that is us on Snapchat. All right, we've nearly reached the end of another Sportuccino. So much excitement coming up tonight in the Champions League, as I mentioned. Also, still, if you've got any thoughts on that huge trade, we are talking about the DeMarcus Cousins trade on our Twitter page at Sportuccino. We want to know who got the better deal in the DeMarcus Cousins trade from the Sacramento Kings to the New Orleans Pelicans. Who got the better trade? Love to hear from you on that. All right, we have nearly reached the end of today's Sportuccino, but let's get a quick reminder of today's sports headlines. Arsenal beat non-league Sutton 2-0 to reach the quarter-finals of the English FA Cup. 7 sports lose their appeals against UK sport for funding cuts. Mako Vunipola is back in the England training squad ahead of Sunday's Six Nations game against Italy. And DeMarcus Cousins has been traded from the Sacramento Kings to the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, that's it for another Sportuccino. Just one more thing to mention. Newcastle United are now top of the Championship after their 2-0 win over Aston Villa. Gouffran and an own goal from Henry Lansbury. I always think it's Henri because it's with an I at the end. I always say Henri Lansbury, but Henry Lansbury, the former Nottingham Forest midfielder, former Arsenal youth team player as well, scoring an own goal as Rafa Benitez's side returned to the top of the Championship ahead of Brighton. some big games tonight in the Championship as well. We'll react to all of them on Sportuccino on Wednesday. All right, I've been Richard Parr. You've been watching us on Sportuccino.com. You can watch us live through the live stream on Sportuccino.com every single morning, or on Facebook or on YouTube. And please like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also subscribe to us on iTunes, because we are a podcast. I really like listening to Sportuccino as a podcast. I listen back and listen to some of the great stats that I might say, and also some of the nonsense as well. All right, we are back tomorrow morning from 8 GMT, where we'll react to all of the Champions League results from from tonight, and we'll also look ahead to the games on Wednesday. All right, I hope you have a wonderful sporting day, and I'll be back with you tomorrow morning from 8 GMT. Goodbye.